So our app now at least has some functionality. And when we press the roll button, things actually happen on screen. Well, at least until it crashes when we run out of images to display. So there's a couple things I want to do here. First, I want to simplify the code a little bit. Because we no longer need anything to happen when the view loads up, then we no longer have a need for this block of code. So we can simply go ahead and delete it. Now, the next thing I want to show you is that while we have this very clear way of writing left dice number equals the current value of left dice number plus 1, there's actually a far more efficient way of writing this. And because in programming, we often need to increase the value of variables by 1 or by 2, this is why there's pre-built ways of making this easier. So in Swift, we could simply write plus equals 1. And that will take the current value of left dice number, add 1 to it, and then set it to the value of that variable. But if you look at this straight away without the context, then it can be a little bit confusing as to what's going on. So I'll leave you to be the judge of which version you prefer. And remember that it's not just plus that you can do this with. You can do minus or multiply or divide, and it will basically do the calculation as if you're taking the current value, dividing it by the value after equal sign, and then assigning it as the value inside the variable. I'm going to leave that as plus equals 1, and I'm going to change this to minus equals 1. And if you run your app, you'll see that it works exactly the same way as before. Nothing has changed other than the fact that we've made our code a lot shorter. Now, there's gains in other places as well, and we'll talk about them when we come across them. But the main goal right now is to make our app not crash when it gets to the end of the array. And the other thing to think about is that it's not really a dice app if it just goes through all the numbers in sequence, right? That's not random. So how do we get some random numbers showing up instead? Well, in Swift, you can generate a random number by simply writing int. So this is the data type that refers to an integer, which is also known as a whole number, so no decimal places. And then if we write a dot random, then we can tap into a range of numbers. So we can say, give us a random whole number from 1 to 10. And that's what that 3 dots do. It's specifying a range from 1 until 10. And when this line of code runs, it will look at the range and generate a random number that's between 1 and 10. So inclusive of both 1 and 10. Now, if I go ahead and simply wrap a print statement around that and hit run, and when I press the roll button, you can see that we get a bunch of random numbers being printed, or at least until our app crashes because of this line again. So let's put 2 and 2 together. What we need is a random number here to be able to pick out a random image from our array. So we have 6 array images and they start counting from 0. So this one is at position 0 until position 5. So we basically need this to be a random number between 0 and 5, right? So maybe at one point when we press the roll button, it'll generate 4, but the next time it'll be 2, and then the next time it'll be 0. But it has to be random. So let's transplant this code here inside the print statement, which we already know can generate us random numbers between 1 and 10, but let's replace that range and make it between 0 and 5. And I'm going to do the same for the bottom as well. I'm going to delete that print statement and let's run our code again. Now, if I press the roll button, you can see that I'm getting completely random numbers showing up. And there is no end to this app anymore because it's just going to stay within the limits of our range here that we've specified between 0 and 5. It's never going to go to 6 or 7 or 8, which does not correspond to an image in our array. We can no longer crash our app, which is wonderful. So we've made our app behave more like a real dice. And in addition, we can now delete this left dice number and right dice number, both where we're using it as well as where we're creating it. So our code is now even simpler. Now, this is what we call refactoring in programming, where we take our code and try to make it simpler and make sure that we don't have any code that is repeating or unnecessary. We can take this even further because look right here. We have that same array that's being used in both places. So why don't we instead just create a reference to it, give it a name, and use the name every time instead of having to create this array? And even though Xcode makes this display really nicely and show us the images, as soon as there's some issue in your code, let's say we commented out this code, you can see what's behind the scenes is actually quite complex. There's something called an image literal being created from a resource name, and this makes our code quite long and quite wordy. So it'd be great if we didn't have this duplication. So what if we could create a variable that holds this array as the variable's value, and then we can refer to that variable when we need to use this array. Just above these two lines, I'm going to create a new variable, which I'll call dice array, and I'm going to set it to equal this array right here. So I'm making sure I'm copying in all the square brackets, and I'm going to paste it in here. Now in Swift, it's really important to make sure that you have consistent or symmetric amount of space on either side of the equal sign. So for example, you could have no space either side of the equal sign, or you could have one space, but try to avoid where you have an asymmetric situation like this, because you'll get an error from Xcode. Now, when you see a warning or an error, so the yellow triangles are the warnings, which says, hey, I think there might be something wrong, but you might know better, so you can continue. Or the red stop signs say, stop, there is an error and you must fix it if you want to run this app. And when these symbols have a little white dot in it, it means that Xcode thinks that it knows the solution to this problem. So if you click on it, you can see a fix button, and you can see what it's going to try and do when you click on this fix button. So in this case, it's going to insert a space after the equal sign. Let's click fix, and it automatically fixes that for us. Now, it's really important that when you click on the fix button, you know exactly what it's trying to do and why it's doing it. So you understand what's going on before you just let Xcode fix everything. Because Xcode is still quite far from Skynet. It thinks it's very clever, but it's actually not. So there are many cases where it thinks it knows the solution, but actually it just messes up your code. You are the human programmer. You are the one telling the computer what to do. Make sure that you know exactly what Xcode is trying to fix before you click on it. Now that we've got this dice array here, I'm going to ignore this warning for now, and then we'll come back to it a little bit later on. But the point is, we now have a reference to our array, and we can reduce the duplication right here. So instead of actually providing the array, we can simply refer to the array. And if I type in its name down here, then when this line of code runs, it's going to go and look for this dice array, which lives right here. And then it's going to try and pull out a random item from it between 0 and 5. Now on the next line, I can do exactly the same thing. So use the reference to dice array. And if we run our app right now, you'll see that nothing has changed. We still have our dice rolling functionality, and it rolls any random dice between 1 and 6. Now let's come back and address this warning from Xcode. It says the variable dice array, this one, was never mutated. Consider changing to a let constant. What is this trying to tell us? Well, here we've created a variable, which is created using the var keyword. And we've basically given this collection of items a name so that we can refer to it later on. But given that it's a variable, surely we would want to vary it at some point, right? But at no point in our code do we ever change the value of dice array. It's not like right at the end, we tap into the dice array and we set it equal to a different set of image literals. So maybe the dice array is now composed of the logo and the background image. In this case, we've created the variable and then subsequently we vary the contents of that variable. So we've changed the values that's held inside. Well, this is what a variable is used for. And it's really common when, say, if you had a score, right, where the user starts out with a score of 0, but then later on we add 1 to it so that we increase their score. Well, this is where we're varying the variable. But in our case, we don't actually need to vary the dice array because that's all the images we have. We don't have any other images. So why do we need to change it? Well, we don't. So that's why Xcode is telling us, consider changing it to a let constant. And again, this warning here has a white circle in it. So it means Xcode thinks it knows how to fix this. So let's click on it and see its suggestion. It says, why don't you replace the var keyword with a let keyword to turn it into a constant? So let's click on fix. And now all our warnings go away, and if we run our app, again, it will work exactly the same as before. But all that we've done is, instead of allowing this to be changed, this is now a constant. So if I decided that dice array was going to have some other images inside, I don't know, let's say if we deleted some of these values, then you'll see that it'll actually give us an error. You can't assign to this value. Dice array is a constant. And it tells us that if you do want to change this array and you want to change its values, well, then you have to change that let back to a var. And that's what its automatic fix does. So we don't want that. We're never going to change the array, so we can keep it as a let constant. We've seen that we can generate a random whole number between the range of 0 to 5. And this is a really heavily used bit of code whenever you're programming anything that needs some randomness, say for example, a game. But in our case, if we just wanted a random item out of our dice array, there's actually an even simpler way of doing it. We can delete this and simply write dot random element. And that will do exactly the same as this. It will look through this array, see how many items there are inside, and then give us a random element. So if you wanted the ultimate succinct code, then it would probably look something like this, where you're picking a random element for each of these dice image views. But if you find it easier to see what's going on and to practice using this random generator, then you might want to keep your code like this. The choice is yours, but I recommend that at this point you take a moment to write some comments in the code to tell your future self what each of these lines of code that you've written does, so that when you come back to it, when you review it, you'll be able to understand quickly at a glance. So pause the video and have a think about some of the new things you've learned in this lesson and write some notes on those things. In the next lesson, we're going to be doing another deep dive into randomization in Swift, as well as the range operator in Swift, and look at the difference between the let and the var and when you would use each. So if you already know about all those topics, then feel free to skip ahead. But if you want to learn more, then have a look at the next video.